Hi, my name is Rebecca, and this is my video for my literature and Strand project. I, for my lessons, decided to do geometry, and um, my activity is tangrams. I had found different activities that had different um, like puzzle maps. Like this one is a rabbit. Um, for them to use, but my printer wasn't working, so I will include the screenshots of where I had intended to print them out. But thankfully, my job has all different kinds that I can use for the example. I chose this activity based on I looked at the resource list and I saw a book called Three Pigs, One Wolf, and Seven Magic Shapes, and I'm like, that's the one. So I read the book and realized it was about tangrams and how these magical creatures made out of tangrams, two big triangles, one medium triangle, two small triangles, a square, and parallelogram. Um, how they would form different animals: a swan, a rabbit, and a cat, and a few others to be what the pigs needed or to give the pigs the shapes. And I'm like, this is a great idea, and I can build off of this. So for my tiers, everyone could have a map. And as it works up the tiers, the more advanced tier maybe won't have, let's start. The bottom tier would have this map. They would know exactly which shapes to put where. The blue parallelogram there, and the yellow hexagon up here, and they know exactly how to build it. Then, moving to the next tier, maybe they wouldn't have exactly the colors. So they would have the outline, and they would have to try and find a shape that fits but maybe isn't perfect. So you instead of a hexagon, you could put two trapezoids. The answer is still correct, but it's not exactly what the original was looking for. And then for my third tier, the more advanced, I would tell them, we're going to build a flower. And then I would just want to see how would my students build that flower. So maybe they still did the hexagon. Maybe they did a little different. Maybe they added blue and red petals to go around it. Maybe they did do a daisy, so they did white petals and try to fit them around and grow and grow and grow and see what they're. It's just a little. See how creative they could get. And I was like, this would be a great idea. Use anagrams and build it up and make it more challenging for the ones who need it to be more challenging. And then this is also a great resource for the students to use as they work through different lessons. Like there's even incorporating science. Butterfly. So we could have been practicing the butterfly life cycle. And so maybe for a quiet activity, busy work type of deal, they can come and they can build their anagrams and practice building their butterflies and recognizing the shapes and then trying to recreate it. And even if you don't have the tanagram blocks, you could do it with Play-Doh. You could do it with paper. Maybe the teacher cut out a bunch of these shapes and laminated them, put them in a baggie, and the students could build off of that. So this is sort of my idea, is just to have all sorts of map puzzles, some that aren't necessarily a picture that they would recognize, like this could be just a star, a flower, a mandala. Some of them are up for interpretation. You could say this is a bird, or maybe it's a skiing animal. This one could be a dog, could be a horse. This is definitely a flower, but if you manipulate it a little bit, it could be a boat, and that's the sun. Or maybe this is a hot air balloon, a very cool hot air balloon. And like here's a different boat. So then you could compare them and have fun with it. Now these are made for pre-Kers, so they are easily able to build them and just figure out how to use the tanagrams. So for like fifth grade, you wouldn't be using this anymore. You would definitely have the more challenging ones create this, or maybe still the outline for the differentiated learning. You wouldn't, you probably wouldn't have the exact answers for them. Or the puzzles would be much harder and they'd have to use different shapes. But that was my idea. My lesson would be to go off of our book, Three Little Pigs, and even give them those shapes. I don't have the exact shapes they were using, but if it was my story, I could use a hexagon, two trapezoids, a I could do a parallelogram, and a square. 2, 3, 4, 5, and two white diamonds or roses, and then see what kind of shapes they could create. Could they put, sorry, they could build up. Maybe they could make a man. That's good. Um, and it would just be up to them, and we could make our own shapes, our own stories, building off of just the tanagrams and showing them shapes are fun, math is fun, geometry can be fun. It sounds really daunting. I was never a geometry person, but this would be fun for me. Thank you.